I've weighed it. It's 1 solid ton. The second one, receive contact information. That's getting the card. That's getting the LinkedIn feedback, okay? And the third is finding the next step. Now, that's my way of saying follow-up. But we all know we're supposed to follow up. In my theory, it's finding the next step. I'm connecting with this person. I'm going to learn something about this person to where I can say, got it. Now I know the next progress-based impression. So I get the card. I say, hey, would that be a benefit to you if I got you that info? And you write down, and that's your next step. It's a series of steps. The first step was the first handshake and all the first stuff that you did. This is another little thing that's not on a PowerPoint that I think is very, well, I'm going to say it, so obviously I think it's useful, or I wouldn't say it. When you go to networking events, it is very useful to position it in your mind that you are going there to develop to-do lists of things you're going to do on the behalf of the people you just connected with. See, meeting them is one thing. You doing something for them in the next 24 hours the next day that you said you were going to do, boom. There's your real progress first impression. All right? But I'm going to rock it through this really fast because I know that you're going to have it in the Ekos magazine. But here's 16 tips for delivering solid first impressions. First, and this is something we've already talked about, don't try to do major business deals. Save that for later. Oh, boom, there's more than one. Get revved up. And now when I say get revved up, I'm not necessarily saying, though, that you got to come in, skipping and hopping, but I am saying that you can't come in going, oh, where's the coffee? Right? You got to come in already having game. Number 3, don't act desperate for business. Right? And we've all had that. We've all seen that person. You're like, oh man, this person's really hungry. This is not attractive. This is not working out. Number 4, be an early bird and a late bloomer. Here's what I mean by that. Like right now, you are not networking. Did you know that? This is not networking. Networking was what you had the opportunity to do before we started talking and after I stopped talking, right? This right now is not networking. But a lot of times people get to the event at the last second, right? But if we get there early, then we have the opportunity to connect with people. If we get there early enough, guess who we connect with? The person in charge, because they're the person that's there first. And then you could even say, hey, you need some help. And all of a sudden you're putting out chairs, and they're going, I think I like that person. Right? Right. And then the late bloomer is just the opposite. A lot of times you go to networking events and then you schedule something right after, and maybe you've met somebody or connected with somebody, or maybe you realize somebody's in the room that you'd like to connect with, and you don't got time because you got to move on to the next thing. Or just the opposite. Let's say that they wanted to connect with you, but then you zoom out and didn't get the opportunity. Right? So an early bird and a late bloomer means to actually understand that it's letting the moments connect. Don't be rushing off to the next thing. Allow those conversations to happen. 5, stand when you meet somebody new. That's just etiquette. At least in America, I don't know what true too. Yeah. Try it. Maybe it's good. Next one, travel light. A lot of times you go to networking events and you're supposed to hand out your card, and you don't know where that card is. You ever had that person where, hey, can I get your card? And they're like, yeah, let me put this down and this down, and yeah, I got you. No. So just travel light. You want more theater. You want more acting everything out. Okay, I'll start over. No, number 7, meet, find next step, get card, go. Here's what I mean by that. Don't hog people. Don't corner them in and take all their time, because pretty soon that first impression turns into a negative impression. You've taken too much time. Plus, if you've made a good first impression and found the next step, got the card, you want them to go. You want them to go connect with somebody else, because that means their network is growing. Then you're going to grow your network with them, and then you both grow your networks. So don't hog people. Everybody know what I mean by hogging people? Don't take up somebody's time. Have that great first connection, and then find that next step, and then have that commitment that you're going to actually do what you say. Now, number 8, catch the name. This is a really tough one. All across the world, anytime I get the chance to speak, every group I've ever spoken to, all have the same issue, where we know it's vital that we catch the other person's name. And has this ever happened to you? And I'm going to go with Dan. It's Dan, right? Dan? Yeah. I'm going to go with Dan. So has this ever happened to you? Where you're going up there and you're meeting somebody, and I say my name, and Dan says his name, and then poof. Dan's name just disappears. And you know he just said his name. And now I'm standing here looking at Dan, and in the back of my mind, first I'm thinking, man, I am stupid. Which, where's my curb appeal now? My personal curb appeal. But at the same time, I'm still nodding my head and kind of thinking like that, and I'm like, what is this guy's name? He just said it. Now in America, here's what we do. Here's what people do. So I'm like, I'm going to call him Buddy. I'm going to call him Buddy. I'm going to call him Dude. Look at that, Dude. I'm going to call him Man. Yeah, but you can do that with a man. With man, hey, man. But you can't do that with a woman. Like, hey, woman, you can't do that. Right? In America, I can even go, hey, big guy. But I can't go, hey, big girl. You can't do that. Right? So it's very important that we catch the name. That we know how important, because your name is important to you, and their parents thought a lot, long and hard about their name. Right? It's an important name. So take that opportunity. And you know the name's coming. It's not like they snuck it in on you. It's not, what did you just say your name? I was not ready for you to say your name. You need to let me know. I'm about to say my name. Are you ready? No, they're going to say it. You know it's coming. Okay, there's more to that joke, but I got a little time thing, so I'm moving on. All right, just laugh. Just pretend that I said all that stuff that was funny. Okay, if you have name tags, it's really good to wear them on the right side, and that has to do with the handshake. It's a little tip, but it's actually powerful. Number 10, carry and use breath mints or those dissolving strips, not gum, not chiclets. No chiclets. And the reason for that is you want the breath, but you don't want to be, yeah, how you doing? Yeah, it's good. Right? There's that one. Number 10, beware of the mound of stuff. Now that happens a lot if you're at an event where you're sitting down and people get there before you and they put this big mound of stuff in your seat of all this promotional material. Right? And a lot of times people get up and they're walking around with all this other people's stuff, right? Beware of doing that. And then number 12, don't drink too much alcohol. You know, it's crazy. I go to so many conferences, and they're supposed to be there, working, and a conference is not the place to let your hair down and get your groove on, right? And we all know where to buy alcohol, right? So you don't need to drink it just for free. It's not like it's that expensive. But I've gone to tons of conferences where people are like, oh man, it's a happy hour. Blah. You want to do business? I'm like, not unless I'm selling breathalyzers. I just made that one up. That's really funny. Number 13, always keep it positive. Okay? Be positive. Number 12, don't talk negatively about others. Number 15, communicate that your network rocks. And here's why you need to do that. The more you communicate that you've got great people that you have relationships with, the more they're going to want to be in relationships with you. Not just for you, but also all your contacts. Okay? And number 16, pretend you're the host or hostess. Here's what I mean by that. If you get into an organization, even if you don't have a leadership role, if you see a visitor come in, walk up to that visitor, introduce yourself, and help them meet other people. How are they going to feel about you? They're going to feel great. Because when you're walking into a room full of strangers, you got those butterflies going, and you're like, I'm not sure this is going to work out. You get somebody who actually holds your hand and walks you through and introduces you to people. That's key. All right, and the last thing is to acquire trust. It takes a series of progress-based impressions to go from met to net. Trust is the promise of progress. Trust is the promise of pleasure, peace of mind. Want you want to see that? Pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power. But we have to build that through a series of progress-based impressions. Did I say service is everything? I did. If we are of enough service, if service is everything, then we are going to win friends, as Dale Carnegie would say in his book, Win Friends and Influence People. In Spanish, ganar amigos. If you take those letters together, now I don't mean ciega, meaning Spanish for blind woman. I mean, underused Spanish word meaning harvest or reaping. Because that's what it's all about. The more, with each person we connect with each seed we sow, the more we have to harvest. That's not bad for me playing around with the English. So there it is, the harvest. So the real comes down to the harvest. So the last few things I'll say. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of the most beautiful compensations of this life is that no one can sincerely try to help another person without helping themselves. Harry Firestone says you get the best out of others when you give the best of yourself. Does this not all connect back with what I've shared the whole time? Life is short. Seize the moment, wins the moment right now. Right now. This room has it right now. Ekos has put the people in this room right now that can make incredible opportunities for yourself. Deserve your dream. What I mean by that is that goes back to that C in the acronym. Really believing that these people deserve you, that you deserve them, that by you connecting with them, you can be progress for them. So service is everything. And in my vernacular, change is inevitable, progress is a choice. And I end all my presentations with 2 words. I understand that I probably need like a little exclamation point or a little something there. But I'll end my presentation with 2 words, and that is be progress. Now that's different from make progress. I know you want to make progress. You would not have invested your time and come to this event if you did not want to make progress. What I'm sharing is that if you want to make progress, there are people in this room that can help you make progress. And they are going to want to be in relationships with you if you position yourself as the unique right mixture in their mind of pleasure, peace of mind, profit, prestige, pain avoidance, and power. So I'll leave you with these 2 words, be progress. Thank you. Gracias.
Esta fue la presentación de Dean Lindsay. Lindsay, por favor, invitamos a tomar asiento en la sala del escenario. Tenemos algunas preguntas de entre el público para Dean Lindsay. Dean, ¿cuáles señalarías son los 3 factores claves para un correcto y efectivo relacionamiento networking en los negocios?
Can I hear what sound like a great question. Sound like something I really could bounce some good stuff off of, but I don't know what to. Yes. Go ahead, bro.
¿Cuáles señalarías son los 3 factores claves para un correcto y efectivo relacionamiento, networking en los negocios?
The 3 key factors. Okay. The 3 key factors for successful networking. The first, I would say, goes back to that C. How you feel about what you have to offer. That you really believe that when you step out and connect with other people, they're going to benefit. See, a lot of times we don't think like that. We go to networking functions thinking about what we're going to get. But if we actually go to networking functions with the idea that that person's lucky that I'm connecting with them, they are going to benefit because I got game and I'm ready to give it to them. So that's the first factor. The second factor is something I haven't touched on, and that would be organization. Of actually doing the things you're going to say. Because right after you get out of the networking event, it's very often that here comes the world thrust back at you, and all the stuff you said you were going to do, goes, into the maybe file, all right? So the third would be organization. And then the 3 key factor I would say goes back to that thing I even said, patience and persistence. Sometimes we don't take enough time to allow the relationship to build. And that's straight up sales too. A lot of sales professionals, the statistics say that most sales happen on the 8th call and most sales professionals stop at 3. So I would say the three